Northwest Sports Tonight, brought to you by McDonald's. Did you know many of your favorite choices at McDonald's are under 400 calories? Come see for yourself. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
The man in motion for Seattle. Win. Home run ball. Oh, taken away for the touchdown. The Seahawks finish strong tonight in Green Bay. Another night with the 2s and 3s outshining the 1s on offense. But a big night for the defense. The Mariners get their manager back. Felix Hernandez hoping to make it a happy return against the Angels. And Fred Couples does what he always does in the Northwest. Plays good golf as he opens play at the Boeing Classic. Welcome to Northwest Sports Tonight. Seahawks fans had tonight's game circled for a while. Not that it was a huge game, but certainly a good test for this promising Seahawks football team. A road game at Lambeau Field against one of the best teams in the NFC, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. A sluggish night for Russell Wilson. Not used to seeing this guy. First team offense just lets Clay Matthews blow right on in. Robert Turbin misses a block and he sacks Wilson. Little rough stuff afterward. Chippiness went on throughout the whole game. Boykin coughs up the football here. Walter Thurman recovers, and the Seahawks get the first of 4 turnovers that they forced during this game. You don't see this very often. Russell Wilson gets picked off. All that ball was deflected twice before Casey Hayward finally hauls it in. Not much offense in that first half. Christine Michael, though, does make a run for it in the third. He breaks a 3-3 tie with a drop to the end zone. It's 10-3 Seahawks at that point. Brady Quinn looking for Michael again. Dumps it off the outside. He's got plenty of room to run. This guy is electric at times. See if he can stay healthy. Michael doing his job. Quinn doing his as he launches deep to Stephen Williams out of Toledo. The Mac kicking out another great receiver. Williams with the catch. It's 17-10 at that point. Hawks caused 4 turnovers in the game. 2 interceptions. A great pop here. The final turnover in this game as the Seahawks seal the deal. Hang on to beat the Packers the final 17-10. Running their preseason unbeaten streak to 8 straight games. Russell Wilson throws for 126 yards, 2 interceptions. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers did not play much, surprisingly. He finished with just 41 yards passing. Good game for newest Seahawk, Siever Salinga, who picked up a sack. Last preseason game for the Hawks now set for Thursday. Their first round of cuts coming up this week before they take on the Raiders to wrap up the preseason at CenturyLink Field again Thursday night. The other big story tonight, the return of the Mariners and manager Eric Wedge back in the dugout for the first time since suffering a mild stroke late last month. Wedge saw a pitcher's duel tonight. His man, Felix Hernandez, on the mound facing Eric Aybar. Boy, just completely fools him on that one. Felix doing just about everything right. The Angels can only afford to nitpick a little bit. Josh Hamilton with a single here, and that comes back to hurt Felix. He's on in the second inning, and Chris Nelson tags Felix. So far, that's the only mistake in the game for Felix Hernandez. A home run ball to Nelson. That's a 2-run shot, and the Angels go up 2-0 at that point. The Mariners threaten the 6th. They have 2 on. Kendrys Morales, the big slugger at the plate, bounces into a double play. As the Mariners come up snake eyes against the Angels tonight. 2-0 the final. Mariners can't get any runs across on just 4 hits. Offense definitely a problem for the M's in this one. The Angels managed just 4 hits themselves, but again, Felix Hernandez would love to have that home run pitch back that he served up to Chris Nelson for the 2-run shots. Mariners will do it again today at Safeco Field, and they'll do it with their manager, Eric Wedge. Chris Egan has more on his return.
Just over a month ago, Eric Wedge was watching batting practice here at Safeco Field when he was overtaken by dizziness. He couldn't take a step or stand on his own. He had a mild stroke in his brainstem. Today, the 45-year-old manager returns and says he feels better than he has in 15 years. But Wedge calls the stroke a major wake-up call.
When the doctor looks in your eye and says, slow yourself down or else, he's not joking about it, and the next doctor comes in and says the same thing, and the next doctor comes in, so I think when you have intensity and passion and you care so damn much, to a fault maybe, that and you're doing that all day long, eventually it's going to catch up to you. I did not like not being in control. I mean, and And I didn't have it there for a couple of days. And that's one hell of a scary feeling, you know, and, you know, so then once they figured it all out, this, that, and the other, I mean, I'll never need another reminder again. Because, you know, when I was laying there, that's you know, that's enough of a reminder for me.
By the way, Wedge says he's also being treated for sleep apnea. He says he's now more conscious about exercise, diet, and sleep. And he says his best years are still ahead of him. That's Safeco Field. I'm Chris Egan for Northwest Sports Tonight.
Thank you, Chris. Big move at Washington State, where Bob Robertson will have a new role this season. The 84-year-old Robertson, who has called Cougar football for the past 46 years, will no longer do play-by-play. Longtime analyst Bud Namick will take over those duties. Robertson will stay on to host Cougar pre- and post-game shows. He'll also provide analysis during the games. While Robertson is stepping aside, legendary Dodgers broadcaster Vin Scully is coming back for another year. Next season will be Scully's 65th year in the booth. He is 85 years old, still doing a great job. Sammamish explodes for 10 runs in the fourth inning today at the Little League World Series. Zach Olson drives in 2 runs with a triple. They're all tied with Westport, Connecticut, 5-5. Jack Carper keeps it rolling. Drills the single to right. Little hesitation out there allows Dylan Matsuoka to race home. And he beats the throw. Sammamish up 8-5 when Will Armbruster takes a turn. But then back comes Westport. Home run there in the 5th inning by Max Popkin helps to tie this game at 13. Stays that way till the 7th. Chad Knight wins it with a walk-off smash to the wall for Sammamish. Gives up a 12-5 lead, loses 14-13 in extra innings. Still a tremendous run for those young players. Don't go anywhere. Up next, we're talking golf. Head out to the Boeing Classic and the Barclays as well. To Phoenix with a storm, looking to go 4-0 against the Mercury this season. Kind of dominated. Tamika Johnson blows past the defender, scoops on home. Johnson 15 first half points. Storm up by 10. Second half, just keep on rolling. Camille Little blows past Brittany Griner for 2 and a foul. Storm up by 11. They go on to beat the Mercury 81-73. They even their record at 13-13. First round of the Boeing Classic, 777 starts it all off. TPC Snoqualmie Arena. Fred Couples with a great shot out of the bunker. Puts it right up near the pin. Set up a nice birdie for Fred. Fred drops the bird to get the 3 under for the tournament. He's 3 shots off the lead held by Bart Bryant. That's Duffy Waldorf out of the bunker on 18 and has just enough to go for an eagle. The final hole of the day, Waldorf and Bobby Clampett are 1 shot back. Bart Bryant, again, at the top. Clampett, Waldorf right there. Bernhard Langer likes to play in the Northwest, and it shows. He's part of a group of 3 tied for 4th. Fred Couples tied for 7th, just a few shots back off that lead. To the second round of the Barclays, where the shot of the day belonged to Keegan Bradley. Beautiful approach on 9. Bradley
Keegan's in there.
trying to put a little English on this ball. A great shot, ends up burying the hole, finishing the day at 7 under. 2 to darkness, Tiger Woods complete just 13 holes. This birdie putt on 5 moved him to 5 under. The leader, Matt Kuchar, who also did not complete his round. Kuchar reads the hill on the 10th and drops the birdie. He's at 10 under, has a 1-shot lead over Webb, Simpson, and Gary Wood. Up next, we check in with players from both the Sounders and the Timbers before their big match coming up Sunday at CenturyLink Field. 67,000 fans. It'll be raucous. We'll be right back.
Into the fair.
College football, where the Huskies have a weapon in their backfield by the name of Bishop Sankey. Sankey ran close to 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns last season. He expects this season to be even better.
I feel like, the weapons we have guys that can make plays all over the board. One thing we have more so this year than, previous years is depth at all positions, and that's something that, we're planning on using, and guys are going to step up and guys are going to make plays, and, it's going to be a sight to see.
Just a couple more days until the most highly anticipated match of the year between the Sounders and their rivals, the Portland Timbers. Chris Egan with a preview of a game that everyone's talking about.
Alrighty, it's always fun when it's Portland Timbers week. You are a player that has been in this battle against the Timbers for many years now. Just what comes to mind when you're facing off against the Portland Timbers?
You know, it's a series that's always intense. I think it brings out the best of both teams. Leading into these games, you know, you kind of throw standings, you know, where we are, what our records are. You throw all that stuff out because it's a rivalry game. You know, they're always tough to play against. You know, I think they've done a really good job this year with the players they brought in, their coaching. It seems like. You know, it seems like they've turned the page and, you know, are playing some really good soccer. And I think, you know, I think we're looking forward to this game. This is not, you know, this is a chance for us to really test ourselves against one of the better teams in this league. And again, a rivalry game it just ratchets everything up to another level.
From that very first day you put on a Sounders jersey to today, did you ever imagine that CenturyLink wouldn't be big enough to house fans? I mean, this place is sold out Sunday night prime time. It's going to be rocking.
Yeah, there's definitely been, you know, happening is games in my career that have really stood out. And you know, the Portland game last year was a big one, and I thought that was a big, you know, a big full stadium that we had. So this is exciting. It's great for the Northwest soccer in this area in general. It's great for these kids to see soccer at the highest level being played in front of as many rabid fans as we have. Again, it's going to be a fantastic game, a great atmosphere.
I was going to say, you're a father, you have kids, but you see out here the kids waiting to get autographs. I mean, it does say a lot about soccer here in the Northwest. I mean, whether you're a fan in Seattle or a fan in Portland, I mean, soccer mania is running wild right now.
You're absolutely right. It's something I don't take for granted. Growing up on Maui, there wasn't, you know, anything near this to aspire to, and the fact that my kids get to see, you know, soccer at this level every weekend is fantastic. To be able to these kids come out and watch our training sessions is something that I wish I could have done as a kid. So it's cool. It's really, really great for, you know, the Northwest and for soccer playing youth.
I think one of our favorite moments was Roger Levesque. Was he cut down as a timber tree, or was he doing the cutting? I forget on that one.
I think he was doing the timbering, and I think Nate Jakewell was the lumberjack.
So that's one of my favorite memories. Do you have a favorite memory when you look back at this rivalry for yourself?
Gosh, you know, so many. And a lot of them, you know, are knocking Portland out of the playoffs. That was always a lot of fun. Winning shootout down there in, I think, 2009 to advance in the Open Cup was a fun one as well. But I think, you know, I think this weekend's going to be one of those that I'm going to, you know, log in the memory as one of the great moments in Seattle soccer history.
Okay, and finally for me, I think we've seen the signs at CenturyLink from Sounders fans that real men pump their own gas. Do you pump your own gas as well?
100%, yeah, always. And I was one of those guys that first time I went down to Portland, I jumped out of the car and tried to do it myself and got yelled at. So yeah, I pump my own gas.
Zach Scott, I'm Chris Egan. Let's send it back to you.
Well, the Timbers go into Sunday's game with a 5-point lead on the Sounders as teams try to put together a run for the playoffs. We talked to Timbers' Michael Harrington tonight about the rivalry with Seattle and the atmosphere that awaits at CenturyLink Field.
It's very exciting. You know, it's not often you get a chance to play in front of a crowd that big in a game that means this much to so many people. And so, you know, it's exciting for me as a player to be, you know, involved in a rivalry. They have some very good individual players, you know, especially in their attack. They have guys with pace up top and some creative players. So, I mean, we just need to be aware of them trying to spring those guys in behind us. It gets chippy, it gets emotional, especially when the fans are you know, behind you and you're, you know, it creates an intense environment.
That's it for us. Thanks for joining us. The Mariners lose, and Eric Wedges return to the dugout 2-0 to the Angels. Have a great weekend.
You're watching Northwest Sports Tonight.